and welcome on Primetime on the Watches TV. This is your new monthly news program that will summarize all the main newsworthy watchmaking information of the previous month, as well as talking about what to expect and not to miss out on the month to come. So this new show will be aired on every first Friday of the month and will be made of different sections. We'll talk about the news of the month, we'll talk about the main product launches of the month, we'll in this first edition talk about the marketing coup of the month, and we'll also talk about general events and general watchmaking information. We'll be as dynamic and concise as possible, so obviously we'll have to make some choices in terms of the news that we will bring to you. And now for the news of the month, and this spot will go to Vacheron Constantin that presented the world's most complicated watch ever produced for its 260th anniversary. It took 8 years for a dedicated team of 3 master watchmakers to develop this incredible timepiece, and bear with me, it holds 57 complications, 2,800 components, and weighs just less than 1 kilo. The former record was held by Patek Philippe with the caliber 89 and its 36 complications, but that was already 27 years ago, so I guess that this new record will hold for quite a while. We were very proud on the Watches TV to have an exclusive on this incredible watch, so if you didn't see the report, I'd clearly invite you to go and check it out. And now for the marketing coup of the month, and this will go to Hermès, who just announced a collaboration with Apple with the co-branded iWatch. Obviously this is a little bit controversial. Let's talk with Laurent Dourdet, CEO of La Montre Hermès, about this.
Let's take it as it is. Good news. I think this is clearly a meeting between 2 houses of excellence. We issued together a fantastic contemporary object, very elegant, thanks to both aspects of the watch and the strap. Now the future, one will see.
And now for the events and general information of the month, and we'll start with the launch or relaunch of the Ferdinand Berthoud brand. And one has to say that in today's environment, obviously it's becoming trickier and trickier. Room for success has become much smaller. Ferdinand Berthoud was one of the greatest watchmakers of the 18th century, and you can really place him in the category of the Breguet, Jacquet-Drot, Harrison, to name a few of those geniuses. Carl Friedrich Schöffele, co-president of Chopard, acquired this name a few years ago and made this project his. To relaunch this and to celebrate it, they introduced a very spectacular timepiece with a fusée chaîne tourbillon, reminding us of the marine chronometers that consecrated Ferdinand Berthoud as a master watchmaker in 1753. But if you don't have the backing of a famous brand or a powerful group, there are other ways of launching a new brand. And this month we saw something quite interesting on Kickstarter with the campaign made by Clockers that initially wanted 50,000 euro and managed to raise above 400,000 euro. So best of luck for both of these projects. This month we also saw the Gaia Prize, which is kind of the Nobel Prize of watchmaking. It is attributed by a committee of the International Museum of La Chaux-de-Fonds and has 3 categories: craftsmanship, entrepreneurship, and scientific contribution in watchmaking. Craftsmanship went to Anita Porchet, whose art of enameling has just sublimed so many incredible watches for so many different brands. Just to give you a little example, she crafted the exact copy of Marc Chagall's mural painting of the Opera Garnier, so it's a 200 square meter painting on a 31mm dial for Vacheron Constantin. Incredible and just beautiful. Entrepreneurship prize went to Giulio Papi, whose contribution through APRP to the watchmaking industry is just incredible. And finally, history and research prize went to Jonathan Betts from the Royal Observatory of Greenwich for his work on English watchmaking and marine chronometers in particular. We also saw that R. Lang & Son doubled their production capability back in Dresden in Germany. And to show that this is quite an important industry also for the Germans and its government, Angela Merkel made it up for the inauguration. So not only Switzerland has now industrial capabilities when it comes to fine watchmaking, and at the same time, Hublot announced the same day also doubled up their production capability in Nyon, back in Switzerland. On a more life-stylish dimension, TAG Heuer organized quite a crazy concert on top of the Jungfrau that is at 3,500 meters in the middle of the Swiss Alps with Chinese superstar singer Gem. The setting was just spectacular, and we had beautiful weather, and it kind of showed TAG Heuer's clear intention of reaching out back to a younger audience and consumer profile. We obviously have to talk about art and elegance in Chantilly, where Richard Mire's involvement goes way beyond the fact of being just a simple sponsor of the event. They really helped make it happen. It was the 2nd edition of this event. It has all the ingredients to make it into the Pebble Beach type of automotive and glamorous events back in Europe. Regarding the main product launches, we'll be pretty brief this time on this one, and I'll explain you why in a second. But let's start with Audemars Piguet that just introduced a perpetual calendar on the classical Royal Oak collection. The main feature, new feature I would say, is like a weekly indicator on this watch. And let's also talk about the new collection by Bovet, the 1930, which lets you enter the world of fine watchmaking at a rather reasonable price for such quality timepieces. So the main reason why this section is rather short this time is that as we're talking is held in Hong Kong, Watches in Wonder, one of the main watch shows in the world. This event will take place until the 3rd of October. It's open to the public, so obviously if you're there, please go and have a look. And we'll talk about those main watches in the next edition of Prime Time. So what to expect and not to miss out in October? Well, for us, we'll be going to Dubai for the first edition of the Dubai Watch Week. It's going to be very interesting to see that. If you're in the region, please drop by. And this enables me to talk about the GPHG, the Oscars of watchmaking, in comparison to the Nobel Prize that we just talked about, because the pre-selected watches will be on display in Dubai. And the GPHG ceremony will take place here in Geneva on the 29th of October, and soon on the Watches TV we will publish a report with our very own prognostics. So this is it for Prime Time Watchmaking in the News on the Watches TV. Please don't hesitate to share or comment, and have a great time!